Good morning, Eco TV viewers and listeners, both at home and abroad. Good afternoon, good evening. Eid Mubarak to all of you, a belated one. My name is Larry Sise. I'm here with my colleague, Lamin Mane, for another edition of the Eco TV podcast that we normally do. Today we are going to be dealing with three issues. Issue one is the visit of the Deputy Managing Director of the IMF to the Gambia last week or the week before. That is a follow-up to the visit of the cluster team that had a press conference with the Finance Minister. Issue two will be the President's statement to the Banjul elders in celebration of the Eid at State House. We'll also deal with issue three, which is the cement monopoly that the President raised with the elders of Banjul at State House. And we'll close with giving our views on the draft press regulation that has been prominent on the social media and print media. Lamina, I think those are the four issues that we will deal with today. We'll try to be judicious in the way we use our time so that we can also talk about these issues in the local languages. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you very much, Larry, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our viewers around the world. Thank you again for receiving us in your homes. And we've not been here for the past 2 weeks because of Eid and a few other commitments, and we apologize for that. We had given a commitment to be here every week. These past 2 weeks we are not here, but I'm sure you'll forgive us for that. So I say to all of you, Eid Mubarak, belatedly, but still Eid Mubarak to all of you. And we pray that the Lord will accept our fasting and other acts of devotion during the month. And may He bless us with long life and good health to witness many more Ramadan and Eid, inshallah.
Amen.
Okay. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you very much. Viewers and listeners will recall that I think it was in November when the IMF team leader had a press conference with the finance minister. At the end of their, around that time, at the end of their consultation meetings. Mm-hmm. At that press conference, the team leader emphasized that the central bank should return to its core mandate of managing monetary policy. Return to the core mandate of managing monetary policy. Mm-hmm. Now, December, January, February, March, the IMF Deputy Managing Director visits the Gambia and had consultation meetings with the monetary authorities and was taken to meet the President on what they describe as a courtesy call. During that meeting with the President, the IMF basically requested that the government of the Gambia, should return to its, well, let me phrase it this way. He advised the government of the Gambia to reduce its capital expenditures. He advised the Gambia government to reduce its capital expenditures. There is a reason for that. Capital expenditures are mostly infrastructure projects. Infrastructure projects are prone to corruption. And we have established that studies have been done, especially by the OECD, to say that every cycle of an infrastructure project is prone to corruption. Mm-hmm. So it's not rocket science to conclude that the IMF basically is saying we need to reduce our capital expenditure. And by inference, when you reduce that, you reduce the level of corruption that could be in those projects. He says, excuse me, he says we also need to manage our national debt. While we keep saying the Gambia is classified as a debt distressed country, the government keeps telling us, no, we are not debt distressed. Our debt to GDP ratio is around 77%. We think it's much more than that. It's more like 97%. And time will tell that. But the advice was to manage our national debt. And the third advice was to control our inflation. Now, if you look at these three, these are the three core issues we have been hammering on our programs to say we need to reduce corruption. We need to manage our national debt because it has reached unmanageable proportions, and we need to control our rate of inflation. But the government keeps telling us inflation has been reduced, that we are not debt distressed, that our debt is sustainable, according to them and the World Bank, and that capital expenditure is required so that we can open up infrastructure. This is the government's line. We are saying if you put these three things together and you look at the policy thrust of this government, you know our capital expenditure is out of control. You also know our debt is out of control, and you know inflation, in spite of what the government is saying, inflation is still raging. And I don't know who else is not feeling it, but when I go to the marketplace, I feel the exponential increase in the prices of some of the food items that I normally buy every month. I think, Lamin, those are the things that we need to talk about. Yeah. But let's put it within a context. Mm-hmm. The context in which the IMF is giving that advice to the Gambia government is that they have two ongoing programs with the Gambia government, mm-hmm. programs spanning 2025 to 2026. And these are the two approved IMF programs currently running in the Gambia. One of them is the Extended Credit Facility, ECF. Mm-hmm. And we have talked about this in our different programs mm-hmm. to say basically when a country is put on an ECF program, you have serious balance of payments problems. Yeah. And the ECF is meant to regulate those balance of payments problems. Mm-hmm. And the amount of the ECF envelope, special drawing rights, is 74.64 million, which is around 84 million Gambian dollars.
US dollars.
US dollars, yes, 84 million US dollars. And it's supposed to be for macroeconomic reforms, financing and policy support, debt sustainability, public finance management, and macroeconomic reforms. Basically, it's the main chapeau for this one. But we know ECFs are basically meant for balance of payments.
Balance of payment, and essentially the last part you mentioned mm-hmm. is for proper macroeconomic management.
Yes,
they're telling you are managing your economy very poorly. Mm, we want you to go ahead and just sit up and do the right thing. Mm. That is what it's all about.
Yeah,
and you see, the ECF actually, it started even before 25 because that was the first part, and they messed up. They continue to mess up. So they extended that ECF again. I cannot say extended credit facility, but they pushed it for a longer period of time. Mm. So basically it took about 4 years because they were messing up in terms of balance of payments. It's a protracted issue on that. And so you got to get this right. You cannot continue doing this. And then they brought in a second part of it to extend it. Yeah. And they were still not doing well. So they gave them the RSF, Resilient Support Facility, to still help them, help them get their act together. But they're still incapable of doing it. See, and these things come to you if you have structural issues with your economy.
Your economy.
You cannot have a balance of payment getting towards equilibrium if you import everything and you don't export anything. Of course, your balance of payments will be in a protracted problem. Gambia doesn't export anything apart from a few thousand tons of peanuts every year.
Yeah.
Or sometimes the smuggled wood, timber that they sell through the back door. And our black sand mining, which has been privatized and given to somebody who is selling it for, but that doesn't go into the capital expense, sorry, into the budget of the country. So these are all outside the budget, off budget. They don't concern the Gambian economy. They're just privatized. So the timber sales to China, the stolen timber from Senegal and from other parts of the Gambia, they're sold by private individuals to China, as if this is private property. The black sand mining, where you have the illuminite and the what's the name again? Anyway, the name will come to me. Where we have those, they are not going to the Gambian economy. They are going to private pockets. So what do we export? Nothing apart from peanuts. And we import everything. So our balance of payments naturally will be in a protracted deficit. IMF is telling them, you got to do something about this. But they are not doing anything about it. What they are doing is they are continuing to pour money into elephant projects, white elephant projects. And we are getting into trouble because they are all corruption infested. Highly overpriced, poorly implemented, behind schedules, etc. So IMF is telling them, when Barrows turned to us and said, the IMF said, you know, you are doing well, but you just slow down the rate of it's all a lot of hot air. IMF will not tell them that you are doing good projects, you are succeeding, but slow down the pace. No. What IMF is telling them is that your projects are corrupt. You are spending far too money in the projects than is necessary. What you're doing is you are stealing the money we're lending to you. Yeah. And we've been pointing that out all the time. Yeah. For the when you tell us that you put $204 million to construct a 22-kilometer road, we keep coming back to this because that is the biggest manifestation of the corruption in this country. $204 million to construct a 22-kilometer road. We should have cost $22 million. I'm telling you that you are stealing the money. Stop it. You tell us you're going to buy 2 ferries and you give us it, but we'll come back to that another time. Yeah. But every project that's implemented in the infrastructure sector here is just completely out of budget. Everyone has overshot its budget. They have all been overpriced. They have been extended several times. You have riders here and there because you want to bring in more money to have more corruption. And they are substandard roads. They are substandard, poorly implemented, even the behind schedule. Is on record. Yeah, saying the president himself went to inspect once and he said he was unhappy with the pace and the quality. Yeah. So and anybody who is honest will know that they are all substandard. They are creating liabilities for us, which will have to spend a lot of money maintaining. Look at the secondary OIC roads. Yeah. They are all gone. They are gone. So, and they said they spent $50 million on that. They could have spent more than 15 million on that, maybe 10 million. So these are the sort of things that the IMF is telling them. Stop embezzling the money. Do the projects properly, on time, on schedule, and within the budgets. Stop overpricing. That's what he said. So he's telling, oh no, the IMF said we are doing so well, but we have to slow down the pace. You think you can sell that to the Gambians? That is Barrow's economics, Lamin. Let's just leave it. Barrow doesn't understand anything in this. But the people who are making him say that are the ones who are disrespectful to him and to the Gambians. Yes. He doesn't understand these things, so they just tell him what they want. And they should respect him enough not to make him say things like that, because they make him look very unsavvy. It's actually embarrassing. Very embarrassing. For the deputy managing director of the IMF to come into the country, goes to see the president, and tells the president, reduce your capital expenditure, manage your national debt, and control your inflation. And the president is saying, no, inflation is not a problem. Debt is not a problem. For capital expenditure, the IMF says we are doing so well, we need to slow down.
sometimes you have to fall back to reality and say, this is the same government that has not, to the best of my knowledge, this is the same government that has not told us what the state of our balance of payments and terms of trade is about.
They won't.
In this country. And we've been saying it for the last 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us what the situation of our balance of payments and our terms of trade. Now, terms of trade, we can conclude that the Gambia is not manufacturing anything. It is therefore not selling anything except for illicit timber, except for the timber that they export to China, the black sand, but we are not manufacturing anything.
Nothing.
This is not a manufacturing economy. This is not a trading economy. This is a consumption economy.
Period.
And that is the bottom line. No matter how you spin it, what the IMF is saying is these are 3 core issues that the Gambia should fight to maintain in good standing. Capital expenditure, meaning if you reduce it or you tighten the screws on the tendering process, you may be able to rein in the level and the extent of corruption associated with capital expenditure projects.
You see, Larry, if you just allow me there, you and I have been part of these institutions and all of these discussions that we have with governments. And usually it's the undertones you should listen to.
Yeah.
What the government is being told is that there is far too much corruption in your economy.
Yeah.
Nobody will tell you to cut down on capital expenditure, because what we want is to have an increase in capital expenditure so that the economy can start growing, so that you can have buoyancy, so that you can have job creation. You can have, what we want is the reduction in administrative expenditure and an increase in capital expenditure. That's what every donor wants.
And the leakages associated
exactly.
with it.
So what they're telling you is that your capital investment is ridden with corruption. Yeah. Cut the corruption. That's what the government is being told, and they're trying to spin it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, Lamin, I conclude, maybe we should conclude this. I looked at the team leaders press conference with the finance minister, what was said there. And I looked at the IMF managing director's meeting with the president. And if you know how these institutions function, the deputy managing director is on the operational side of things.
Yes.
And if he is on the operational side of things, what he's telling the government should listen to.
And before we conclude on that, Larry, if you allow me again, you see, you've put your finger on it. The government should listen carefully to what the IMF is saying. Yeah. We are in this situation of economic meltdown globally. The US-Israel-Iran war is bleeding the world economy. Yeah. We are going to go beyond recession. We are heading for depression in the global economy. Larry, 20% of the world oil transits through Hormuz. Last year, 4.6% transited through Bab el-Mandeb.
Yes.
Put those two together, you're looking at 25%, a quarter of the world's oil transit daily.
In a conflict zone.
In a conflict zone. The Strait of Hormuz is 20.5 million barrels of oil a day. Bab el-Mandeb is 4.6 million barrels of oil a day in 2025. It was 8.6 million in 2023. But with the Houthi war, it's dropped to 4.6 million last year. So put those two together, you're talking of 25 million barrels of oil a day transiting through those two. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. For all intents and purposes, closed. Now, if you lose 25% of the world's oil export daily because of the closure of that Strait of Hormuz through the war, the inflationary impact is going to be huge for the whole world. Oil prices, Brent crude, has gone from $70, $69, $70 per barrel a month ago to $114 now. Yeah. And it's possible that it's going to reach $200 per barrel.
It's already in some markets, $200.
Yes.
$200 per barrel.
What the Gambia government should be listening to when the IMF is talking to them, your inflation is going to run amok.
Yeah.
The world price of oil is going through the roof. So everything will go with it. The growth prospects, forget it, they'll all be cut to almost zero or below zero. You're going to have inflation in this country running in double digits again.
Yeah.
The price of oil is going to double at the pump very soon. And with oil going up, everything goes up. Your imports come on ships which use fuel. They come on airplanes which use fuel. What you transport locally, you need fuel. When fuel goes up, everything goes up automatically. Yeah. It has a knock-on effect. So fuel going from $70 per barrel of Brent crude to 114 now in New York and rising. You're going to have inflation going up seriously. The insurance market is taking a huge hit. Yeah. Because the risk factors involved in transporting oil has made that risk uninsurable, which is going to increase the oil prices even further. That's why we're looking at $200 per barrel is what we're looking at.
Yeah. In fact, the reinsurance industry is now saying they don't have the resources to reinsure.
To reinsure, yes.
Some of these ships that go through this.
That's what I'm saying. The risk is uninsurable.
The risk premium is too high.
It's just not insurable.
And we should be listening to the IMF because.
And when that inflation hits,
no,
he will need to go running to the IMF again with his hat and bowing down for assistance.
Yes. Let's say that between these two programs, the extended credit facility and the resilience sustainability facility, together they bring about $150 million from the IMF to the Gambia.
Yeah.
And when the IMF says control your capital expenditure, manage your national debt, control your inflation, it is within that context. They are giving us the $100 million to do just that.
Yeah.
And they are also saying reduce your capital expenditure because inherently these projects are prone to corruption. And we know how that works. Butter Harding is the biggest example of how corrupt infrastructure projects can be. Now, on the balance of payments issue, terms of trade, we've been talking about this since 2022. The government has yet to tell us the status of our balance of payments and our terms of trade. But we understand why they can't tell us that.
Exactly.
And I think I'm going to wrap this thing up by saying, if you go by what the experience of the IMF in Senegal, post-Macky Sall Senegal, they've been thoroughly embarrassed by the new government because Macky was underreporting the hidden debts, and we think Gambia is also underreporting on the hidden debts. IMF had to swallow a bitter pill on that one because the Senegalese government proved them wrong. On the debt sustainability issue also, they've been embarrassed thoroughly by the Senegalese government. And I think if you look at what the IMF is trying to do in Senegal now, recalling their previous representative, bringing a new one, the deputy managing director also getting involved in the operational side of things, you realize that the IMF is hedging their bets to say, at least in the Gambian case, we told them. And when everything is said and done, they will come out, when change happens, they will come out and say, we told you. And this government would have been gone by then, and the successor government, which hopefully will be us, will have to deal with the damage that they have done to the economy.
Exactly.
That's what I want to close this segment with. So let's go to the President's statement with the Banjul elders at State House in celebration of the Eid. What did he say?
As usual.
What did the president say?
As usual, when these Banjul elders come and they give me the microphone, I tremble. I say, oh no, what is he going to say again today? And we heard what he said. No. But I'll let you...
What the president was saying basically is that the country is in very good state. That everything is
working perfectly.
Working perfectly. You have an economy that is growing at 6%. I don't feel the economy is growing at 1%, but he says it's growing. Him and his finance minister says it's growing at.
That's why I say they disrespect him
6%.
To make him say things like that.
Yeah. And so we are left with a situation where the president is in a bubble, sort of.
Yeah, and you see,
I think he's in a bubble.
For me, the fudge and muddle we find him in, that's what's so embarrassing. And he becomes so boisterous about this, and he sits there and he's beating his chest about things which are totally wrong.
Yeah.
He goes there and tells them, for example, I give you an example, the cement issue. Yeah. We gave the monopoly to somebody, because he didn't say monopoly, but for all intents and purposes, that's what he was saying.
That's what it was.
We gave the monopoly to some people because they are paying tax, because they are doing this, they are doing that, and the price was going down. As if the other cement importers don't pay tax. They pay tax when they import cement, one. They buy fuel to go and get the fuel, the cement from Senegal, and they buy the fuel from here. So they are paying tax on that again. They employ people who work for them. They pay taxes on those salaries. They buy or rent premises for their cement. They pay tax on that. And you tell us that they don't pay tax. They pay tax. Much more than the other companies probably. And he was telling us that when those people were not involved, the price of cement dropped to 400. So when there was a shortage of cement, they asked those people to come in and buy more cement and import it, and the price went to 600. That's totally untrue. The price of cement rose to 600 because his favorites were not importing cement. They could not get the cement to come in here. When they could not get the cement to come in here, the price of cement rose to the roof. It went to 600. And he started panicking. That's when he asked the other importers he had banned. He asked them to come in and help and import cement. And some of them came back and went to buy cement from Senegal and brought it. That's when the price of cement started falling again. The price of cement got to 600, not because of those secondary importers. It got to 600 because his people were not able to bring in cement, and the cement shortage that was manufactured raised the price of cement to $610 per bag, to $650 in some cases.
The fact is, the fact is, when he gave this company the monopoly, cement was at
just about $300
per bag.
Yeah.
Now it has doubled. It's about 600.
Yeah.
So that is something.
Down slightly, but it's still very high.
It's still very high, but that's the oblivious nature of the president's thought processes. As far as he's concerned, everything is okay. Never mind the cement shortages. Never mind the people they have put out of business. Never mind the knock-on effects of denying people employment opportunities, business opportunities. That's what we have as a president.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what, as you said, he's in a bubble. He doesn't know what is happening anymore. He's just sitting there and enjoying himself, and they tell him anything. These people are selling you a lot of hot air, Mr. President. What they are telling you is not the truth. You've got to talk to other people. Listen to your opposition. Listen to the Gambians. And you will know that what they are telling you is not the truth. The price of cement went to 600 because Jar Oil and their colleagues could not bring in cement to sell to the Gambia. That shortage is what raised the price of cement to 600. That shortage was deliberate or not, it doesn't matter. The price of cement got to 600. It started coming down when other people came in. And you should understand one thing, Mr. Barrow. Competition is good for the economy. It brings prices down. Competition doesn't take prices up. It's when you have lack of competition and monopolies, that's when the prices go up. Because you have people who can do whatever they like, they corner the market. Maybe somebody's explained that to you. Competition helps the economy. It helps prices to go down.
It brings prices down, but it also creates efficiencies in the economy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And all of those people who come, and they are not doing this through the back door. It's not a parallel market. They are doing it officially, and they are paying taxes at the borders when the cement comes in. They are paying, even though in the case of the cement importers, a lot of taxes was being embezzled. Yeah. Because there was a year, I think it was 2024.
2025.
Yes. The amount of tax paid and the amount of tax declared was so, the disparity was so huge. They should have been investigating those people at the Immigration Department, GRA. Not accusing the cement importers of not paying tax. They pay tax. It's the GRA that should be questioned about where the tax money went to. So these people pay tax when they import. They pay tax when they employ people. They pay tax when they employ drivers and those who transport their vehicles. They pay tax when they buy the fuel for transportation. And the offices and the premises they hire or build, they pay tax on them. So they pay tax all the time. In contrast, the big importers, they don't pay a lot of the taxes because they are given waivers. And they don't pay tax on a number of those things. So whoever's telling you those things, make them sit again and bring other people from outside government, let them talk to them in your presence, and you'll see where the truth lies. It's the people who are importing, the big importers who don't pay tax.
I think this president is going to be very shocked when the truth eventually comes out on this economy. By then it will be too late.
Yeah.
He hasn't been judiciously advised in terms of the nuances of the economy, how the world works. And I think there is a price to pay for that.
Yes.
You know, the IMF telling you to do those things, and they're putting in hundreds of millions of dollars in the economy to support you, and you turn around and say, no, just give us the money and leave us as the government to
do what we like.
What we like with it. It's like the colloquial interpretation of gifts.
Yeah.
For him, the IMF gave the money.
Yeah.
And so once you give, that's it.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say.
The person you are giving the money to
can spend it the way he likes.
Can spend it the way he likes. Well, the world doesn't work like that.
Absolutely.
You and I know that.
Yeah.
We know how the IMF functions.
All the donors.
It's unprecedented for the deputy managing director of the IMF to go on country visit. And if you look at his visit schedule, all the countries he's going to, except for the OECD countries, all the countries he's going to in Asia, Africa, Latin America, these are problem economies. Yeah. Because he's on the operational side of things. So the president is going to be very shocked at some of the revelations that will come out post his presidency. And we keep saying the revelations in the Gambia will dwarf the ones in Senegal per capita wise. This is a much smaller economy, and the level and extent of corruption that we are seeing is unprecedented.
And you see, what's so sad as well, Larry, is that Yaya Jammeh, in spite of all his flaws, after a few years, was a lot more savvy than Barrow after 10 years. Barrow does not learn.
Yeah.
He doesn't learn.
Yeah.
You should be able to understand some of these things after 10 years. You should have people sit with you, brief you, explain things to you, help you to understand. Yes, we know he's not very gifted in terms of intellectual development, but still,
make an effort.
They can help him, because nobody knows it all. As a president, you're not supposed to be an expert in all of those areas. No, nobody's telling him to be an expert in all of those areas. But he has people at his disposal. Bring them in. He says, my technicians. Good, bring your technicians. Make them sit with you and explain to you how things work so that you can understand. But it's sad that every time, after 10 years, every time he comes up, we are trembling. Oh, what is he going to say to embarrass us today? You should be doing better than that. You cannot embarrass us every time you speak to the world. And the world listens to you. Even after 10 years, when this gentleman reads his leaves, think you have a kindergarten reading class, come on. You can do better than that, man. Human development, personal development starts from there. He can develop himself. It's so embarrassing for the Gambians, really.
Among easy.
Come on, we deserve better than that. So, Mr. President, make an effort. Learn to develop yourself. Larry, is so frustrating.
Yes, let's go to the last one. I think we covered the cement thing. Let's go to the draft press regulation. This has been in the public domain for the last month or so.
Yeah.
I think we are sliding back into the days when the government controls everything you read and say, and the government controls who you read from. This draft press regulation is not good for the country. It is actually 4 steps back from where we are today. The press regulation essentially will require government. If I want to write something on my Facebook page, on my WhatsApp page, I have to register to do that. Nobody operates like that in the world.
Yeah.
Freedom of expression, freedom of press denigrates that. And for this government and the information authorities to actually propose a draconian law like this beats me. This is 2026.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be going back to 1994, 1995, 1996. We shouldn't be going back 20 years.
Yeah.
And incidentally, the world is watching in terms of how this government handles this draft press regulation. As a party, UDP is totally, absolutely opposed to this draft press regulation.
Yes.
We think it's a draconian piece of legislation. We think it is going to usher in a new type of dictatorship that this country does not need, and we think it should be abandoned completely, thrown out, put in the dustbin. This is what our view is as a political party. Personally, I don't think I want to register my Facebook page or my WhatsApp or whatever other social media platforms I have. That's my business.
Yes.
Government's business is to make sure that I don't do things there which break the law. And that does not require a framework legislation that is essentially going to control what I say, how I say it, who I say it to. I am not going to do that as an individual.
Absolutely, Larry. And the sad part is that this is the government that went out to give $40 million to the press to try to buy them, to be their mouthpiece and to do propaganda for them. When that did not work, they said, now we've got to muzzle them. So you want to bring the press under control, under the boot of the government. I keep saying that's how dictatorship crawls.
Yeah.
There is so much wrongdoing in this country, and thank God we have a press that is relatively free,
and it's robust,
that is going out there to report on all the things that are happening and let Gambians make up their own minds. The press is doing that good job that's why they call the fourth estate, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But they are doing so poorly, they don't want that to be heard, so they want to muzzle the press. That's it. Shackle them and do everything to make them stop saying what they want to say. The press should be encouraged because that's how we all get better. That's how the government gets better. That's how the opposition gets better. That's how the civil society gets better. When the press is out there reporting on what is happening in the country, everybody sits up. But because you are too lazy to get that activity going, you say, we'll kill the person who is giving the news. So you virtually force them to auto-regulate and auto-censor, self-censor.
Yeah.
And interestingly, the past 5 presidents of the Gambia Press Union came out collectively to condemn this.
Yeah.
So, that's the way how dictatorship creeps in.
The 41 million he gave to some media houses, some of those media houses actually came out to say, no, this is not good. But the vast majority of them are quiet.
Exactly.
And that is the danger in buying public opinion,
Yep.
because that is just buying public opinion. Even things that they should report in a balanced way,
Yeah.
they are not reporting on. And when they report, it's always pro-government. Some of us don't appear anywhere in some of these media platforms.
Yeah, particularly GRTS, which we all pay for.
Yes.
But we are never allowed to go there.
So,
and the GRTS, they said there will be no dissenting opinion.
Yes, dissenting opinion
So
in GRTS.
it's only the government's propaganda that you hear on GRTS, and yet we pay for them.
Yeah.
We all pay towards GRTS.
Yeah.
But it's reserved to only a few people in government. So they can spin whatever they like on GRTS, and they don't want anybody saying something different. Fine. You don't go to us on GRTS? Fine. There are other press organs. We'll go there, we'll speak. So you cannot muzzle those press organs. You think that if you do that, what happens? You muzzle the press. Then nobody reports on your wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Nobody reports on your corruption. Nobody reports on your overpricing and poor performance in the road construction and other sectors. So you can do exactly what you want with impunity. Then when that happens, what do? You start controlling the judiciary and the legislative. The legislative is under control.
Yeah.
We see what happened recently with the Special Commission of Inquiry on the sale of Jame assets. Very good report. Now the implementation phase, where are we? Nothing is happening for the moment.
Yeah.
And the judiciary is beginning to backtrack and to say the opposite of what the commission said.
Yeah.
We hear them say certain things in parliament because the majority say, this is not good for us, so we're going to take it back. And Barrow had said that he was waiting for that report. When it comes out, even if his family members are involved, he's going to come down hard on them. Now what do we hear? Oh no, the report is out, but we have to go to the Minister of Justice to get him to start inquiry. The Minister of Justice is the one who is being incriminated. You ask the thief to come on, man.
To guard your house.
Yeah, the Minister of Justice is the one who is being incriminated, and you tell him now, you decide whether you're going to prosecute yourself? Are we serious? That shouldn't happen. The Minister of Justice should have nothing to do with this because they are adversely mentioned. And you tell me the Minister of Justice, who has been accused of all the wrongdoing, is now going to investigate himself.
And prosecute himself.
Are we serious in this country? So again, another report, which for once was well done, investigation well done, is going to be buried. It's going to be buried.
But even at the level of the National
And all
Assembly,
the theft that took place during this sale of Jame assets, we're not going to hear about them anymore.
No. You know, what is emerging post that report is that even the National Assembly is recoiling from some of the recommendations.
That's what I'm saying,
that it has.
And that is led by the NPP, NAMS and their associates.
And the actual leadership of the National Assembly is involved in that role.
In the cover-up.
Cover-up.
Yeah.
So we are saying no to this draft press regulation. We are saying yes to press freedom. We are saying to individual press freedom, individual freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of association.
And this is guaranteed by the Constitution of the Gambia.
The Constitution of
so they cannot roll this back.
And
when we say never again, we mean it.
I even think when you look at these things structurally, it's a violation of the Constitution.
It is. The Constitution has entrenched that clause freedom of expression.
Entrenched what?
Freedom of expression, freedom of association. They are entrenched in the Constitution.
Yep.
You cannot roll that back. The Gambians will not have it. We went through that before.
Yeah.
We know what it's like in that house. We're not going back in there. We're moving to another house now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do the local language version of this today's podcast. Assalamu alaikum badingul bal kontonna telam lari sise bal kontonna salola although salo tambitale ngamere dabo kundankol ni mo ko tan sai contantale domorwato sita
kana dabo kundankol to yar ko drame kundankol ni jawra kundankol ni fati kundankol le
nte hani la kamarol fulani ndaramol batu ngadan dabo kunda anyway mbal konton na salola alaman na salsiala no mbay kundankol fananda be nyum ko konole bebe contandre nebi anyway binna kacha dula fanna sabalem fanna follow International Monetary Fund IMF membe Washington ila kuntio normalanko wala nata Gambia aning governor of Central Bank Finance Minister aning President Bentale idiamuta wadiamo kono memfota je sa fali kacha da fulanjang wala mu President idiamo menke State House aning nyim Banjul Muslim elders nyol la meeting to aning dula sabanjang wala mu nying cement monopoly meng President fanga dale afo ala nying meeting to aning Banjul elders ko cemento da mankuya so basically wala fo sabanjang nani jang wala mu ye loi kuto me lafta loi kuto men tambindila pour que newspaper lu ningal la social media albe mem fola manyanna mem fola man sakundala be obe kiskisila to le nyin loi kuto kon nyin loi kuto e ka fa en draft press regulation nyin draft press regulation UDP date je mo kotengol fana menia lonko parti dolle muti political ecosystem kono wol fanan koy date nyinto katu nyin loi kuto ay constitutional baramal loi be constitutional kono le ka fo me entrenched clause me alonko molla diamo nyanta men fole nyanta men safela mo man nyanna o mala fereng ni nyin loi kuto tambita be o constitutional burkala yo IMF la deputy managing director la na jang nal hakilo bama ngamera fo November December IMF la team leader in finance minister a press conference o press conference to IMF la team leader ko Gambia la Central Bank nyanta murla loi memfo ko nyanta wala kala e muru ye muru woto meaning ibe kol dolu ke kan men ya lon ko ning Central Bank la loi bu ko manke kilinti so iko Central Bank e mura ala doku da follow to wala mum munti banko la kodo banko la naflo nyanta amuna fanna nyame inyanta manage la nyame ko si muru dalaso sembo ka na banko kodo asembo jitale ka jibe asembo si wuli no nyame yo ila team leader yo wolof yo nyin match karo kono IMF la deputy managing director ila nyaton ko normalanko normally wole katara IMF be dokol men na dunia dulal to taran wole katara kunna operational side anata jan aning minister finance benta aning governor benta ya samba president ya même fota president ya mbe wole folali kuma jamala fota bari mba fe andilaliyen ye president na la banko ya mari ku sabale ku follow iko kodo men ka ke capital expenditure wala mun sila do ko wolti kodo men kadunje mansakunda nyanta talala munati na mansakunda nyanta talala nyin sila do ko wolu bundo ko wolu sala do ko wolu corruption be woleto IMF ka wole fon na mansakunda in a very civilized way ni ko capital expenditure tala basically ka fo en la corruption no tala ntol nga interpret wala nya secondly fulanjang ikon banko julomen be banko la mansakunda nyanta talala ka manage betake alon nga o fonfongal ne julomen be nyim banko la sa siata billion kemenin talultil iko IMF ko mansakunda yo julo manage no betake dine ba manage kan nyame iko fanan inflation o fengol da be salary nyame mansakunda la hajo nyanta kala ka jibe o fengol dal be jila nyame ka inflation o tala wolam ni aja IMF be Gambia mansakunda yamar la nyin kuwalla IMF ye programme fula le soto nyim banko ka programme follow e ka fole extended credit facility programme fula njang resilient and sustainability nying programme fulolu ni kafu nyoma IMF ka kodo men dundi nyim banko ka siata $1 million keme anintalul til in fact na calculate le sa mbe nyim fenkela it's around 180 million US dollars ni aje moba la million kemen in tansai dilela alaftale aka kodo men dila yaka nyam bari president wa memfo ateko IMF ko ibe dokuo men na warta ya tala ate wala fo ako fulanjao même fo IMF yen ka wala fotende ay wala fo Gambian ko le ako IMF yo wala fay ibulo tala dokuo sembo wat ba fulanjao IMF yen même fa ate yo jabi menna ate ko en ne ko non na alliance ko dolal alenyin ko do dinala alen tuje to lemma sakundati be kodo kela nyame nga kanya
to lenga wolo
yalo ngabe wole nya na nyin banko kan ni ko mo en sokodola ay kodo dila ibuka expect ko ibuka illa ko aba fole ne ngay so nyin kodola bari ba kela ten now IMF buka tama onya ye kodo dila dalilo men kan iba kela wole to ate kela nyin ko e kodo dila ko hin ngeso wala adiate nyame yakanya bari na president hakilo katama wala nya ndu nyanta jelo nale
abiga tamo nya bakatu ninkake ikata IMF le ko lafta julo la ndonto ko ibe bu nekela ko investi lolo daraja investi lolo kala jana mbe factory lolo jana ke don tole kam
wala mbe balance of payments le fen
yo ni tata bank banks ni tata any of the local banks ko nata ko dol don ka fe bakala nyaadi
yeah
ngata factory le lo kata kunkoles doku ngata bitikole yele ya fe okay kaytul samana ngaju fo fene mi yalan ko ni ngadi ko do tati nyala ji fo sak fasi kenol ye ko kaytul samana ya jube ne ka anyinde jin ko do sur insi si ko do sur no jende en joko de ko okay ye finance ntar IMF fana wolam e ka fo ko banko la fra salo lo la jana la fra silo kala jana
banklem
la fra kala bol kala jana yo ko di ko ha okay mba kala tin ñu wati kar len du ali yo be fali e bandi ali ya sign ye don to ko dole bi ke so wala de ke don to wala ye don to ko dole ita do ko ke buto ko do ko nyaka na ka check wala nyama kala bank dol bi jam fa ni ye don to ko dole e ko bu ka fe ko okay be ni ko bo mu jele wuli tang okay e million tak mi million fula jele ni foundation ba nga nga jube na be ta nga to dil ye ko continue abi wala nyama so fan ko do min dire ka ika dire ya ju bakala nyami be ga fa ta dia dia te jam ya ko nyama
ta ko ya dia la dro ye tol tu bakala nyami ya
so ata momu fa nan fa hawuno ngamira ala mul bi ka fa wala ni ne kan tol fa ma lola ka to mul bi mbadan dangola wala nyanta karandina ñu lolak fa nan do man din suuteje sayin bari wala dama bono hanika bi wato ku kilin wato malu kilin di fa nan du kare ka malo ka nyantan to le fere sayin du kare fere ke to ina fa la moli ye karandi ñu ko la ya kala ngolom say ni nata ifana sa fo kuno na pression diam to bi alhamdulillah kontaan war wata ni bina ngan damu to be mu na fola o mu malole so ñing ko do me sola ye don tala le katu ko benyin ni ñene kela so ni a dile kanale ye ju fo yake ko nyamale e kamim fo wala iman ñenta kala dami make wala to su ñaaro le warata ti ñaaro le warata e koy wala tala ima fo ye do ko tala do ko sembonten hani mo fo de su ñaaro sembo e koy wala tala e koy wala tala su ñaaro sembo e koy wala tala du kare fere ke wala tala kata be jolale so na man jono butu batale mbeje ka wala fo
Allah ka wotala aninka fengol da be seledi nyamen ka wofanan jindi
yalla nim fengol suñaro siar julo to jono la ñu julo man jono fengol da be selel ka dal so boy la
nin dala so boyta dron
fengol be selel
fengol ka selel
so ka wala fay suñaro tala banko ke ko le explain ay
andung ika lamini ika banko yamar nyimmen yamar kuma balem kat nyin kelo membe kering America ni Israel ni Iran tema Strait of Hormuz sorontale sain be damen tulo barelo abota dalasi taworo la to dollar dalasi taworo la to atata fafutata dola keme
anin tanni wor
anin wol tannin kemenin tannin wor dala dola so
andal selekanne doro
abe selekanne marché o dol to fatata fafutata dola keme fulat barelo même bina kela ngana wala falete tulobe mankilale essence be mankilale ni essence o mankita essence o membe banko kay ba dala fala ni essence o dala fa fengol bele daka la fa I boomerang effect less soto on the rest of the economy taxil do dabe la fala ñewol dabe la fala subol dabe la fala ni fengol say ka namo men jol be ka la fala son simpare o kam nimman nata ko man sakunda man tara lokurin woliye membina kelan fangol bajela kol be kola yala molma bakele janni ba fula August September yin fonko men kana hopefully ata futala auto bari na futata auto kol be kola yala banko kam bakele wala na IMF ka ni yamar sifa
exactly because yemin fote Strait of Hormuz lu wolum tulo barilo million muwannin kili wakata mbirni jela somata dunia tulo ka soto ka yus dunia ko lu wolum niyata la sinya kemeti mo be ka tambiri wotol yo to sorom babel mandeb mimbe red sea ibe fa huti fa na soron sai somata tulo ka da dunia ko lu wolum nim niyata la si dula kemeti mo ne lulo be bi kana ko tek so ni o keta woto abi mankilal fe mankita da ka sele so tulu da be sele kan ya fa nyama wota dollar ta wala barigo kada sen dollar tan ni kemenin tan ni wor anda be sele kan dollar daf ke fu dollar ke fulota so ni wo keta tulo da seleta wala isa so da ye sele gazolo ye sele
fengo be
ni wo seleta fo be ka da ka sele katu fevo fete ya ma aka transport le ka samba silola wala balela wala kulinti la wala terengol la feo fe ka samba dollar ka budula ka ta dollar so min ka samba ni oda seleda fo bi da be seleda le andu ngambe jan to libe ka fe wa fi bantan ka be sannan bantan so da so la boyobe ka fula kende kele to la sella kende kele e ka wala fo masakunda fere ke yebanko ma koy yela depensol tala yeti nyaro tala yesu nyaro tala fo si fenke no mi na siko dun siko dun banko kan min sike malam koti ika wala fayr mo wala faham no wala safata mo wala faham no kala mo wala faham le bay sulle ka nene yito nya fay ya makoy president on dika makoy le ate fengo be lon nola hada ma di wala fengo be lon nola but wala na ka minister fanko na technician wala technician na si ya makoy ya kul bonde a nyoto ha bani ma wala da bonda nyoto kala nyaadi bana fa na fa randi fa na hakilo dia pura kul faham no bar ni fana manke no butum fahamo ise wala da bon nyande butum abe ko yalla so wala be kuolto ata fana nyento le faham le bar gambe be tambo be dinkira jaw baleto ñu ko wala fay wato man taje so nga lowto don
nyanta men fola don kuma fo domandin don cimento la kuota anin nyim press fon ko control room ko wato banta
okay
cimento ye monopoly create cimento ñine kama ko cimento kana manki bari that defies economic logic ni monopoly create fengol daka la fal andung atabe wato mem fo kan abe nying company makoy la ka monopoly di la wato men na cemento mu dalas keme sabalati boto bimbe damen cementi boto tata fo dalas keme woro ta keme lul nim fen kata fo keme woro di ka mem fo dro wala mu nyinti ko ni monopolio di mola mo killing yewo bula o ka fengol nati banko kan aka fengol da lafala bukatala na fengol da lafa fana ko fengol membo ko cemento mo dolbe wo business dato le menia lonko la business o fatal because I monopoly di nil ni wala business o fata wol ka balu nyamen ayo batandil wol ka mol men fananta ka doku ke wol fanambe fole la doku wala so monopoly man better economy to because ne monopoly create banko la munafa nyanta tamala nyama abuka tama nyama to abol ka fo me efficiency gains are lost in a monopoly e monopoly ke la drong kuolu men yalon ka tiling nimbo be business o ke la wol buka soto no kote ngamera be wala fenkela ni fen lakan den si nyin draft press regulation fanama
I mean for donga ko itole nyi cement wa fela dole yolu sindile katun nyi cement wa fela balu wala nja oil nyol dana molu e ko do min jo tax o siata bakere nyamata ko danyante ma ko yelal so wala ne yewol dole sindi atu nyin dol bul e men for ni ko de monopoly le e ka be di mo kilinen me di be di mo kilinen wala mo fula saba min diate wala ke damal ka siye ka chay nyomoy ka wa fi da min diate mo to kuno la je ako cemento da jita because woliye ñin dol tatal non birin nata ko ko wala cemento da koleyande hani cemento da le seleta birin cemento da seleta fo keme woronim feng i de wunta to mo de ko cemento to lib e mil sindi non itaro ko man ko edukara buran cemento do o da fo ko do da setala wala na ka cemento o da nan wala cemento to commence ka da jindi so cemento la manko mo ya sabu ite ta ja ol ngin ka fo moli
ay monopoly men
dira wala so bir yo ke do cemento da sereta so ka fo moli ha wol ya katale ka cemento da jindi ma da jindi ya dale ka fukato monopoly le be bul min dete ka wa fi wala fere tije price control tije so wala be kerinje so baro nyanta wala fahamla ala mol ben kanay ko mo kunta sol fay ate sawo fe ay fonyo kawlike wali fonyo kamalu ndi molu kono kada ko mol min fay na diam ka fode e Allahu akbar bi fana ya be boyle mo la fi la president wala laftel na diam tam be nga fen karanje
ngo ike da kasida mandin kol ka fa me ay kupa boyle
to avanta so man la fi wal gono dim te son diamuta be nga fen karanje fa kupa boyo de nan ko di wala
nyim fango ite bina cemento da keme saba saabe keme lulu fo keme woro e ka fo da jita
abanta
ite umul logic si fala mo anyway mo nyim kupa boy wa asembo bina wara wala nyim kende umbulu sai
very interesting for na labor la ko yam fanyi ba wato yen dan next week ne kenni be so na commencer la me mo renka sa fo sura confananto pour na la modal sa fahamno
yes nying draft press regulation ibe loi kuto men fintindi kan pour ka mol control ni tata social media ibe newspaper to ibe men safela itolle ba control ibe men fola itolle ba control la inyanta issues men fenkele itolle be control lafta men fola je dron wala munyinti ko kabrinyi loi kuto kayto fintita
yalo regulation lem follow bari
regulation lem bari na fintita na lota be kala lual Gambia Press Union la president koto nani fintita ko nyimanke lulu nyimanke regulation betot political party fintita ko manke regulation betot lafta dro moli alon ko UDP manyin regulation o support ndunta support la fen nabe molla freedom o batandila kumo kono ma support na men support dro wala nyinti ko mobe men fola yalong iba fola nyame yew fanal lo ikana loi tinya bar wo kola momo ilafta men fola ya fo ilafta men safela ya safe mo kana kuntu nyato ni wote lafta banku moli wala lo
yes katung bi ilafta minna iko yetata million tanna nin kilindi fonko press agencies dole ko ali mfasa ali propaganda kany jama babu je mason ko lota bari mason no keda so bi aje ko ilafta min kamol de ndi o mankeno GRTS men ko bel dental ye mobe bayje so min data ko wala kawla
GRTS opposition bukata o
ami ko mo def wala min masakunda la ko min ma masakunda jayode andum bela ko do tam to lekejo bari bayje fine bari press propaganda bi ngata wol donc diam yene mo ka can banko nga nyo kacandi so ko fanante kela ko fanante yede so munta ima hani kata even parliament pour ka luata so e mun ngata press union e ko kala nga singa kacha sayin julo felta alfon bulo city ka to bolam ndol tal bulo se fo bari julo alfon la fam bulo city butu wol ko enta kela man namba kela so it will be le faire to bi bari lafta mena wona ka press de yindi ni press de ni sira kuriya keno le mota kala mutala isa keno di boko no isa keno nukungo kono abe ko be alkunuto la
mote corruption o fono la ibe ko menu ke kan luati nyalu mota fono la
so sa keno alkunuto kono butu mota fola sako election o bina so mala fo di am ko tege be wala feroto andum bambe di amulla press be di amula le iko te fambulo city laliye e julo di mo le kalal fambulo city volta presque en tembulo city la mbang so wala be kering bare min fawo yem te kan faaje wala momen ka CB kunu ite kam min fonu ñim presque woto ina finti bi ka mo ka ala fa bulo sitale faye ñanta mol de mala le gaddi ha mo keno min ñanta kala nga fo moli si ño kala mutandi non sadi kuruya se banno banko kan sadi tilo si lono banko kan lafta ka wala ka tilo wala fasa ni ñaatuta bari ni ko mole ke fan bulo siti butu mona to molbe sonna wala
yalon political fan kono nin tonya fo bota kuol kono tinyaro na to
abanta
ni regulation o tonya fo baliala be labanna wala man sakunda lafta e mem fo yeo fo
lafta men ya fo wala yede
tol dunda to tonya mbe wala
fo la moliye
tilingum be wala fanam fo
mbelde tanyem banko la
ka fo ko karbe ko de tinyala nta fo la no woti je mba fo la
ka
foko kari man tara nyinke kanga beta ta nyamen be ofanam folal ite kuno laut
ni ku beto ke dem ba fola ni ku woro ke ba fola
ni ku beto ke sa fo ni ku kurun ke so ofanam fola
but unfortunately ila ku beto ke de tal ma wala jeno folo
ku kurun ila ku pa boyole sia ta ku beto ke so
to
anyway bade manin kola la baraka da resi selamani lamin mane ngamira nying arjuma ramisa nala ningale niyo siama president la sona ay même fo house to mina wala fanam fo o fanam mun talin dole ti bari so bulaje fo ramisa
nala ana ngani même fo bi so do man dem fo je so ko fanam je yes inshallah yes
ala baraka thank you